Any queries? No? Right. We will see how to define test classes for triggers, batch effects, schedule effects. How you write test classes for triggers, batch effects, schedule effects. In the last class, we have seen basic structure. You have seen basic structure. Watch. Right. Come again. What is your query, Amma? Okay. Now, let us see how you define. Let us see how you define the queries. How you define the test classes for the triggers. If you look at trigger, when is the trigger fired? Whenever a DML operation is performed, the trigger is fired. If you don't perform the DML operation, trigger will not be fired. Am I right? So you want to test it, you have to perform some DML operation and you have to test it. So look at the format. First, let us see. Let us see what are the triggers we had and how many of them are active. So contact object. Right, okay. So let us create some triggers on account and contact and test it. So look at the requirement. Apex example 10. Public void invoke list of account a dot name a dot ownership. This is the method I wrote. Whatever the records we are trying to insert, those list of records one by one we are taking, trying to modify rating, industry, ownership. Then I was calling Apex example 10 dot invoke. Right? So we are invoking a trigger. This trigger is fired when a DML operation is performed on account. This trigger is fired when the DML operation is performed on account. Then write a test class for this. Can you people come forward? There's some issue with the mic. This all come forward, Amma. There's some issue with the mic. Last. ఫార్వర్డ్ అంటే లాస్ట్లో కూర్చొని కాదు, ముందుకు రాని. అందరికి కరెక్ట్గా జాతకాలు చూసుకుని వస్తారు. నార్త్ ఈస్ట్ కార్నర్ బిట్. రైట్. Now look at this. We have at the rate of east test. At the rate of east test, static, void. When is the trigger fired? Trigger is fired when you are making DML operation. Right. Trigger is fired when you are making a DML operation on an account. So I was trying to insert a record here. When I inserted a record, if trigger is working properly, value of the industry, rating, ownership should be changed. I inserted a record with a name, phone number, but I wrote a trigger at the back end saying that modify the value of industry, rating, and ownership. If the trigger is working properly, the value of the rating, ownership, and value of the rating, industry, ownership should be modified. So what I'm doing, after inserting the record, I am writing a query and trying to find out the value of ownership, rating. Then we have, what was the other one? Industry. From where ID equal to system dot asset equals banking a dot system dot asset equals, then we have rating, system dot asset equals, then ownership. Now I have not mentioned this data. This data should be set by trigger. If at the back end trigger is working properly, at the back end, if the trigger is working properly, this is the data which should be set. Then, am I right or wrong? When I am inserting the record, if the trigger is running properly, the following values will be set by trigger. Run the test. Go back to this. This is how we got code coverage for the class as well as for the trigger. Have you got the point? Am I clear with this? So if you want to test a trigger, perform the corresponding operation and do it. Now, let me know how will you test this trigger. I hope this example is clear. Clear for everyone? Right. So I'm going with public map of ID comma this is what we got. Then I want to check whether data is modified or not. Whether I want to check whether the data is modified or not. I want to check whether the data is modified or not. Then I'm giving opportunity. old map, new map. If old dot stage name not equal to if old stage name is modified and new op dot stage name equal to, whenever the stage of opportunity is modified as closed one, then keep close date equal to system dot. Now look at the point. Now what I'm doing, whenever the opportunity stage name is modified to closed one, then set the close date equal to today. This is the logic. Whenever the opportunity stage name is modified as closed one, then set the close date equal to today. Did you follow the logic? I verified old value not equal to new value equal to closed one. Then write a trigger. Old map. Old map and new map. So whenever the opportunity is modified, fire the trigger. Trigger will check out whether stage name is modified or not. If it is modified and close date equal to, sorry, stage name equal to closed one, then set it. Now this is what I was supposed to do. But if I want to test this, what you are supposed to do? Now it is the existing data. We are trying to test the modification on the existing data. If you want to test the modification on the existing data, what I was supposed to do, I have to create a dummy data because it's an update. Test class will assume that there is no data in the database. Test class will assume that there is no data in the database. So what I was supposed to do, create a test class here. Test setup. Opportunity. Insert. There is a dummy data what I created. With the help of the dummy data, I want to test it. Now what I'm doing, opportunity, ID, stage name, opportunity. Then OP dot stage name equal to. Now opportunity stage name is prospecting. That stage name I am modifying as closed one. Then I told update. Now I am fetching the data which is there in the test data. Then I modified the stage name as closed one. Then updated. When updated, what will happen? Update trigger will fire. If the update trigger is firing well, if the update trigger is running well, then what will happen? opportunity. Select ID, close date from opportunity. Where? Then check out. What is the trigger will be doing? Because opportunity stage name is modified from prospecting to closed one. Then close date should be asset equals this is what we are taking. I hope you are good with this. Here I'm testing it. I have taken an opportunity, modified it. Then if you modify the stage name, trigger will fire. Trigger will modify the close date. If the close date is set as today, yes, my trigger is running properly. Because the logic what I wrote in the trigger is to verify whether stage name is modified or not. If it is modified, I ask you to set close date equal to today. If the close date is set as today, yes, trigger was running properly. Because what is the close date I gave? I gave close date as system.today plus 15 days. That is modified as today. Then go back. People have got the story. Why did I create a sample data? Because it's an update trigger. I have to have a data first. Then only I can perform it. Go back to this. Check the code coverage. This is how we are getting it. I hope you are good, right? So if you want to test a trigger, make one whatever the object you wrote, whatever the event you wrote, that DML operation you have to perform and see whether the changes happen in the database or not. I hope you are good. People followed this. You, if it is insert trigger, insert a new record and see the changes happen or not. If it is update trigger, modify the record and see whether the changes happen or not. I hope you are good. You followed my point. If it is update trigger, make update on the record and see changes happen according to the trigger or not. That's what we are going to test it. Now, how do you test batch effects, schedule effects operations? How do you test batch effects and schedule effects operation? The point here is whenever we are trying to perform some asynchronous operation, then we are supposed to mention test.start test, test.stop test. Why? When you are testing asynchronous operation, there is a possibility that the governing events issue may come in the test class. There is a possibility that governing events issue may come in the test class. Whenever we are trying to test asynchronous operation, there is a possibility that okay, governing limits issue may come. So to resolve this governing limits issue, we are going for test.start test, test.stop test. So let us see an example of this. Global batchable context, database.query locator start batchable context. So I'm going to take last name. And how do you write it? Written. Then I'm going to give batchable context. Please. Update. Then we had global void batchable context, global void finish database dot batchable context, finish operation. This is my batchfx. This is my batchfx. So what I'm doing, start method will fetch the data, execute method will run the operation, finish method post batch operation. I want to test this. If you want to test this, first, if the batch operation is for what? Modifying the existing data. So what I was supposed to do? Create test data. Create test data. If you don't create a test data, we cannot run. So I was supposed to go with Lord company. This is what I have created. This is a lead data. Then I was supposed to test static void test. Now in this case, what I was supposed to do, we are supposed to run the operation. Batch example. If the batchfx is running properly, lead source will be web. I can also give the rating, one more field. Rating equal to if the batchfx is running properly, so wait, then test dot any asynchronous operation you want to test it. Any asynchronous operation you want to test it, that should be defined within test dot start test, test dot stop test. Any asynchronous operation you want to test it, that should be defined within test dot start test, test dot stop test. Why? I told you already. If there is any possibility of governing limits, now if I encounter a 101 governing limit issue, system will automatically add 100 more SQL queries. If I'm getting a 151, system will add 150 extra limit. So in case we come across any governing limit issue, system will automatically add extra set of governing limit. System will automatically add extra set of governing limit. Okay. Now look at the point. database dot execute batch. This is how I create. Database dot execute batch be file. Database dot execute batch be file. Now, in case of any governing limit issue, automatically extra set will be given. If this batch of X is running properly, the records which are there in the database, those records should be modified. Am I right? Batch of X is going to modify. So what I'm doing? Now, if everything is working properly, asset equals lead source. Lead source. This is how we are doing. Then run the test class. That's what I have happened, right? If batch of X is running properly, what will happen? The lead source will be kept as web, reading will be kept as hot. How many sample records I have taken? I have taken only one record. I written a SQL query, I verified it. If you take a list of record, I told you in the last class, take a for loop and test every record. Okay. Go back and see. We got the code coverage. What is the code coverage we require for deployment? 75%. Now, if you want to deploy 75%, if you get it, we can deploy the code. Minimum 75% is required to deploy the code from one environment to another environment. I hope you are good. Right. Now, let me give you one more example. Make an attempt of writing this test class. Right. Now, before going to this, somebody has asked me in the last session. What is the data we received here? Right. So this is a global specific with respect to the user who logged in. User data will be available on the test class. User data is available. I told you, I gave a statement. Test class will assume that there is no data. Test class will assume that there is no data. Test class will assume that there is no data in the database. But the global data, profile, user, this type of data we can fetch it. Now I wrote a query here. What was the data here? Student. Same, I am writing a query here. Somebody has asked me yesterday, because we wrote yesterday one program, update the owner. Then he has asked me a question. You said database is empty in the test class, but how are you getting the user? Now this is with respect to the objects. Now with respect to the regular global objects like user, profile, this data can be fetched. Same query I am going to write like this. Integer count equal to select count from code. I am printing the count from account. Already there are some records in the account, right? How many records you got in the account? 0 records. Is that was clear? right? Now account is considered zero, but global data like user, profile, organization, that we can get it. No issue with that. I hope you got my point, right? Okay. Now I'll continue with my example. Right. Now my requirement is string batchable context. Then we're taking one by take one by one record. U dot type. This is my requirement. Fetch all the accounts, modify the owner of the record as student, fetch all the accounts and update the owner of the records as student. Write the test class for this. Write the test class. First, you are supposed to create test data. You are supposed to create test data. So create test example. Then create a dummy data. So even creating the dummy data so many times is also not good. Am I right? So we can create a dummy test class. Dummy test class which will have a data in it. We can create an object for the class and use it. Right? Instead of creating every time dummy data like this, we can also create dummy text factory. So I'll tell you. Text factory. How do you create a text factory? Create a class at the rate of isTest. Create a method which will create the data. Call this test class in other classes. Now let us see. We have taken this operation because we read a test data every time we are creating at the rate of test setup, right? Now what I was trying to do, look at this. You want to return also, you can return it as per your choice. You want to return also, you can return, it's okay. I'll go with the void. Then what I was doing, test data. Then we will create a sample class. Every time instead of creating a test setup, if you have any test class like that, we can call that class. We call the class with a method, what will happen? That method will create sample data. Are you getting my point? Now, every time I was testing, I was creating at the rate of test setup opportunity, at the rate of test setup opportunity, at the rate of test setup opportunity. Why those many times? Create a test class, create a dummy data in the class, call that method in the test class. When you call the method, automatically sample data will be created. This is called test factory. That is called test setup. Right? Within the test class, if you want to create test setup. You want to create a sample data for all the test classes? It is a test factory. Okay, people call it as utility class or test factory. I hope you got my point. Both of them are same. Then what we are going to do, boss? Which class you are supposed to test? Apex example. Tell me how you are going to do. Test dot. Then I was giving it. If the test class was running properly, what will happen? Then check out whether owner is check out this. Is that all right? Now, after calling the batch Apex, what will happen? Now, check out the logic. People are good with this. Begin copying. Right. Okay. Let us go to the schedule Apex. How you define the schedule Apex? Right. Fine. Write the schedule Apex. Now my schedule Apex, look at the format. Implements schedule public void my requirement is get all the account records which are created today. And delete them. And delete them. Write the schedule Apex test class. Schedule Apex is also what? Asynchronous operation. It also should be defined within a test dot start test, stop test. Now write the test class for this. Then define the test class. By now you should be good with this. Now, instead of creating my own sample it again, I was creating instead of creating a test data again, I was calling that method. When I was calling that method, data will be created. Then I was creating string cron. At some day I'm scheduling it. Then how do you test it? Fx example. System dot schedule cron. If the job is running properly, accounts which are there, they should be deleted. If the job is running properly, the accounts which are created, they should be deleted. So what I can do now? Integer count equal to what should the count? If the schedule Apex is running properly, count should be system dot asset equals 0 comma count. Then at the same time, we also want to know. At the same time, we also want to know. At the same time, we also want to know whether the job is scheduled at the right time or not. How do you test it? Cron trigger. What is the cron trigger? Any job that is scheduled in the Salesforce. Any job that is scheduled in the Salesforce will be registered with the cron trigger. At what time the job is scheduled? ID equal to at what time the job is scheduled. Asset equals to cron and ct dot. The expression what I gave and the expression which is registered, both of them are same or not. Job is running properly, fine, okay. At what time I scheduled, at what time it registered, both of them are same or not. At what time? Right. At what time we have scheduled, at what time it is registered, both of them are same or not. So any job I have scheduled, that will be internally registered with a cron trigger. So write a SQL query on cron trigger, get the expression, check your expression. The expression which is registered, expression what you have given, both of them are same or not. Expression what you have given, expression what is given, expression what is registered, both of them are same or not. We are checking. I hope you are good. People are good with this, right, boss? Run the operation. See, basically, when you write a class, you know what you are implementing, what logic you are writing. If the class run, what changes will happen, you know. What changes will happen on what data, you know. So create a sample data, call that operation, then check the corresponding changes happened or not. As simple as that. If you know what is the logic that the class is doing on which object, what logic is happening, if you know it, similarly create a sample data, call that method, on the sample data check the required changes happened or not. As simple as it. I hope you are good. So go back and see the coverage. Now I have few technical points here. My technical point is, I want to test the class with respect to a particular user. I want to test a class with respect to a particular user. I want the test class to run like a Satish. I want the test class to run like a Satish. Why the test class has to run like a Satish? Because at the time of defining a class, I gave with the shape. When I say with the sharing, run the logic in the class with respect to the profile of the user, with respect to the profile of the user, with respect to the OWD of the user, with respect to the sharing rules. Now, generally, what we are doing, class we are giving, public class. Public class example means it is without sharing. Public class example is without sharing. What is this with sharing and without sharing? Let me give you. I have account class. Try to get the point clearly. This is the data. This is the code what I wrote. Now, right now, Sham logged in. Who is the user? Sham logged in. Then he is executing the code like this. Example E equal to E dot. Now, OWD on the object is private. OWD is on the object is private. Sham logged in. Example E, E dot invoke. When you execute this, what is the data he is going to get? Wipro. What is the OWD? Private. But still, what is the data you are getting? You are getting Wipro, TCS, Dell. So, your OWD is your profile, your sharing rules, your field level security, nothing is considered. Programmatically, when you write, everything is given. Okay, everything you are going to get. Similarly, let us say for Sham profile, I give only permission of an account. No create, no edit, no delete. So I have one more method. Insert ACH. Now we call it E dot. Now Sham actually don't have the permission in the profile. You don't have a permission to create. But when you call me, what it is doing? Inserting a record. On the profile, as per the Sham profile, does he have a permission to create an account? You don't have a permission. But when you call me, what it is doing? It is inserting one new record. So what is happening? It is not checking your ODBD, your profile, your sharing rules, field level accessibility. Nothing is taken. Boss, whether you have permission or not, I'll give everything using a program. Did you get my point? According to your profile, according to your sharing rule, according to your ODBD, you may or may not have permission. We are least bothered, but I am going to give complete access. Okay. Because the class was defined as what? Without shade. If you don't write anything, it is a without shade. If I give with shade. If I write with sharing, when Sham logged in, call this only Wipro will come. Only Wipro will come. With sharing means run the program with respect to the current user ODBD. Run the program with respect to the current user profile. Run the program with respect to the current user profile. According to the profile, according to the sharing rule, according to the ODBD, whatever the permissions are given, only grant those things. So when the Sham is logged in, e.invoke, what is getting? Wipro. Why? The class is with sharing. With sharing, according to the Sham, what is the ODBD? Private. Private means only your records are visible to you. I hope you are clear with this. Right. Next, I gave e.call me. When you say e.call me, what is happening here? When I say e.call me, according to your profile, according to your profile, according to your profile, you don't have a permission of create. According to your profile, you don't have a permission of create. As you don't have a permission of create, it will fail. This operation will fail. Why? You are trying to create a record, but on your profile, you don't have a permission to create. Are you getting my point here? So with sharing, run the logic as per the ODBD. Run the logic as per your profile. Run the logic as per your sharing rule. Run the logic as per your field level accessibility. I hope you are good. I hope you are good. Am I clear with this? Clear for everyone? Right. Now, let us go to the next one. You got the point? With sharing and without sharing? Difference is clear? With sharing and without sharing? If you don't define it, is what? Without sharing. If you don't define it, without sharing. I hope you are good. Okay. Now, I have one more point here. Now, this invoke will run as with sharing or without sharing. Now, doesn't matter where you are calling. It matters where you define. Where is the invoke method defined? In the with sharing. So, wherever you call this method, it will run like with sharing only. Doesn't matter where you are calling. It matters where you define. Doesn't matter where you are calling. It matters where you define. It matters where you define. As you define in the with sharing, wherever you call, it is going to run like with sharing. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear with this? Okay. Now let us say this. Now tell me how it is going to run. Now, if you don't define with or without sharing, the class in which you are calling, that class will be applied. If you define, that will be applied. If you don't define, then where are you calling? That class property will be applied. Now, if I give this as, now how this invoke will run? Without sharing. Because it has defined without sharing. This will run like without sharing. Now, if I don't define with or without, wherever we are calling, that class property will be applied. Now, this is going to run as what? This is going to run as what? With sharing. This is going to run as with sharing. I hope you are good. Am I clear? Next point. I hope you are good. Concept is clear for everyone. With or without. With means your user context. User context means user ODBD, user sharing rule, user ODBD, user sharing rule, user ODBD, user sharing rule, user field level accessibility, user every. All the permissions of user is taken into consideration. If you say without, run like a system. System is no permission, no restriction, everything is accessible. Now, which is applied? The class where you have defined this method, that class property will be applied. Right. If the class is not defined as with or without, generally it considers without sharing. It's considered as without sharing. I hope you are good. Okay. Now, if I define as a with sharing, I want to test this one as a particular user who has their permission. Am I right? Now, this is a with sharing. Satish don't have a permission to create a record. Now, I have to test this as the user who has the permission to create a record. Are you getting my point? Now, Satish want to test it. But Satish don't have permission to create account. Then how should I test it? Shyam has the permission to create a record. So I have to test this program like a Shyam. Are you getting my point? Now when you define with sharing, the program has to be run like a user. Satish don't have a permission to create a record, it will fail. But Hari has a permission to create a record, so run like a Hari and check whether account is getting created or not. So how do you run it? Then we have system dot run as. Then how are you going to test? System dot run as. System dot run as specific user. We're going to give here. System dot run as user. You. So what I'm going to do, whichever the user, what is the logic? Now in the Apex class also, I don't have a permission to create. Nobody has a permission to create. Only Satish has a permission to create a record. Then they are saying, run this small code, run the remaining code as the person who logged in. For these 4 lines, you run like Satish. Did you get my point? Now, nobody has a permission. Nobody has a permission to create an opportunity, let us see. Only Satish has a permission to run an opportunity. Now, remaining code, run like a particular user. Run like a, logged in user. But these 4 lines, you want to run like a Satish. Then what I do? System dot run as user. System dot run as user. I hope you are clear. People are clear? System dot run as. This will be helpful to you in down the line. System dot run as. System dot run as. System dot run as. I hope you are clear with this. Right? Test factory, test data, test setup, test classes. Okay. At the same time. Now, test class is assuming that there is no data in the database. Boss, consider that whatever the data is there in the database, consider the existing data, test it. Then what should I do? Then I'll say at the rate of is this see all data equal to true. When you say see all data equal to true, whatever the data that is there in the database, the data will be considered. Whatever the data we have in the database, entire data will be visible in the test class. Generally, data in the database will not be visible to the test class. If you want the data to be visible, we give at the rate of is test see all data equal to true. These are generally asked interview questions. How do you run the code as particular user? What is with sharing, without sharing, right? How do you create a test data for all the classes, test data for a test, okay? For a group of methods, how do you create a test data? Group of methods, test setup. Group of test classes, test factory. Run like a particular user, run as, okay, right? You want to see all the data in the database, see all data equal to true. You want to test asynchronous operation, test dot start test, test dot stop test. Are you clear? Okay. Fine. I'll okay. Few more points I'll give. Some programs I have given. Some programs we gave. Page reference call me. How do you test this? Right? Some page we are going to call as a page reference, right? How do you test this? Then you are supposed to create P equal to. Now, if you are going to a particular page, we can give page dot. If you are going to a particular page, that page. Now, you want to check that you are going to a particular record. Then what we do? Page. Right? Then when you call then I'm going to check system.asset. Got my point? Whichever the record we are going to get, write a query, get the ID of the record. Write a query, get the ID of the record. This is the page to which you want to navigate. Or you want to navigate to salesforce.com, salesforce.com/ID. So write a query. Then create a reference and say, call me. When you say call me, whatever the page reference it is giving, whatever the page reference you have created, both of them are same, it will be true. Are you clear about it? Okay. Some key points I'll be sharing, which will be helpful for you for further reference. We are winding for the day, and the key points I'll be giving. And somebody has also asked me some example of custom setting testing. We'll see it in the next class. I'll give some sample codes, how to test a email, how to test a page reference, how to test a custom setting, how to test a custom metadata type. I'll create some document. I'll post it in the community, your developer account. You can refer them for your future purpose. Right? Some email testing, page reference testing, custom setting testing, custom metadata testing. Other things are there. I'll make them as a document and post it. You can use them for your reference. Right? Okay. The next, we are winding for the day, and we are going to cover tomorrow regarding the scripting. We're going to start the scripting classes tomorrow. We're going to go with how to use JavaScript, Ajax Toolkit, jQuery in the Visualforce page. That's a topic what we are going to discuss for the next. jQuery, Ajax, or creating a custom components in the Visualforce is the topics which we are going to discuss for the next 2 or 3 days. Right. Fine, boss. Right. Now again, I repeat, people are supposed to practice more number of logics on list, set, map, wrapper. Okay. SQL with wrapper. SQL with wrapper. DML with wrapper. These 5 concepts are good, you write logics. These 5 concepts you are good, you will be able to write a logic. If you're not good with the 5 topics, you will not be writing a logics. As simple as that. Practice more on that. For interview purpose, the people will not ask you any questions on the list set map wrapper. They may ask you what is the difference between list set map, what is a wrapper, that's all. But interview purpose, you are going to learn, there are 10 questions on SQL query, there are 5 questions on your DML operations. Okay, 10 questions on SQL, 5 to 8 questions will be there on DML. And next, triggers, batch effects, schedule effects, future, extension, custom setting, custom metadata. These are straight away questions. Okay, this will be the topics of your technical interview. But when you want to survive in the company, list, set, map with the wrapper class. If you are able to write SQL query with the wrapper, DML with the wrapper, list, set, map, you will be able to survive in the company. For clearing the interview, the topics what you are supposed to prepare is for interview, you don't need of preparing all the hands-on. Now you prepare SQL, the 10 question, DML, 8 questions, right? Then you are going to triggers, batch effects, schedule effects, future, custom setting, custom metadata types. Most of the things are clear. And scenario-based questions will be either trigger or batch effects. Any scenario question they are asking will be a trigger or a batch effects. In some cases, how to control the trigger? By custom setting. I told you, make a hierarchical custom setting, make it true. If it is true, run the logic. False, don't run the logic. Apart from that, there will be no scenario-based. Scenario-based questions will be either batch effects or triggers. So prepare this for the interview purpose. But for surviving in the company, they are very important. List, set, map, and wrapper. Okay. Chalo, that's all from my end.
Sir, is the custom metadata already covered or is going to be?
No, not covered. Not covered. We are not covered how to create custom metadata.
Okay. Sir.
Satish, we do not need to create any test classes for Visual Force pages also?
Only Apex code.
Okay.
Only for Apex code. Wherever we write Apex code means trigger classes.
Okay. Thank you.